Well, let's say good evening to a few people. Let's say hello to Lynn, Richard, Barry, Laurie and Stuart. Hello and welcome in the Zoom room. If you're watching from the inner circle, the link's in the video description. Come and join us. Well, hello, good evening and welcome. How are you doing, Robert?
Fantastic. How's everybody doing today?
Okay.
Good. It's all good to see you as always. And I'll click a few buttons and make sure we're all in place.
Stephen, your intro, I tell you, is it's energizing.
Well,
is the word I'm looking for.
I try and wake people up before we start normally, you know.
No, it's like for a Friday afternoon, it's for some people they just got off work. For other people, they're in different time zones. But that's great. It's just a great thing. It's really an upgrade to what we're doing. Yeah.
Well, tonight we're going to be talking about keywords and the best way to find them, how to set them up for your site. It's good to see you all here. And just to say, Bob, check your support tickets. We've resolved that issue for you, so I won't say any more than that. So it's all good. It's all good. So and we also want to talk about tonight. Why can't you see me? Is that because my camera's dropped down? You want to feel while I find my camera?
I thought maybe one of the Muppets were going to come up.
I don't think you need to see me anyway tonight, but I mean, I'll fix it. Look, here we go. Look.
Oh, wouldn't be the same without you, Steve. Wouldn't be the same without you.
That's a first, isn't it? Eh? When your camera falls off and no one can see you. Goes to show that these backgrounds are great, aren't they? Yeah. So we're going to talk about keywords tonight and how I find them in an easy way. And also we're going to talk about the content. When we're in the inner circle, we'll talk about how you can change your content on your themes, as well as extra secret tips and tricks, which I've got up my sleeves for helping you guys do a bit more with your SEO on your website. So
before we get into all that, Steve, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
We've been saying the same things for a very long time about taking action, about getting involved.
When I was a wee nipper.
Yeah, but making those first steps, making that first build, making that's your priority. And Done For You Magic Themes was created to make those first steps simpler, to bypass 90% of the learning curve.
Yeah.
And these things matter. They matter to me. They matter to Stephen. They matter to you guys. And if we overcomplicate things to the point that we never take action, that we're just constantly wallowing in the what ifs and how do they just won't follow the steps, won't get started. You can't move forward unless you fail forward. So even if you fail by starting, you're learning. And we had a call during the week, and I'm going to ask possibly if Lori would mind if we brought her into the spotlight, because what was interesting is she reminded me of why we do this. She reminded me of the importance of doing that build. And Stephen and I, when did we start the agency website? We started that like 6 to 8 months ago, the thought of putting together the DFY agency website to make things even simpler for people to get started. And Lori's not the first, Lori's not the only, but Lori is one that it just, we had a call with her during the week. So it brought my attention to her as far as things that she said to us on that call about when she built her first agency site, where the learning curve was. It was like lifted for her to get involved with and keep going because she made such progress so fast. And Lori, if you wouldn't mind to just kind of repeat what we talked about when you built your first DFY Magic Themes agency site, the ease of use, or how hard it was, or where you were starting from to where you are today would be interesting, as far as that agency build went.
Okay. I guess I could say that before I actually had your theme to install, right, I had worked a little bit on WordPress, so I knew some things. But the gold really is when I got your theme and I installed it, and I was able to do that fairly easy. But once I got into it, I realized right away the difference of trying to build something myself to having it already done there, right? It was already built for me, and it's a wonderful site. And so the next step for me was learning how to make those little changes to make it my own. And
so
really
important thing that you said there is you didn't build it, you just installed it.
Yes.
And that's the point of Done For You Magic Themes. It's giving you the website file. It's not giving you a template. It's not giving you a starter page. It's giving you a complete website with content that you install the file on your domain.
Correct.
And
yeah.
And would you say this conversation is for people that may think about Done For You Magic Themes, but may think about their getting into agency building of websites and wondering, can they do it? That's the key element of Done For You Magic Themes. It's getting that starting point of, okay, I do this, now what? I do this, now what? And that's what I just want you to share your experience, so that it's not coming from me, it's not coming from Stephen. It's like, what made sense, what didn't make sense to you, and how much time did you put into building that first agency website?
The installation was fairly easy for me. So within an hour, the site was up. So the next steps for me were, okay, I have it installed. Now what, right? I got to make it my own. So my next step was, how does everything work? And the first place I went was the training. And I went through the training, each video, and I learned, right? And I learned a lot, actually. I've learned more in this training than really I ever have. Because it was short and it was clear and it was concise. This is what you do. This is why you do it. And so that's what I did. And when I hit a roadblock, I put in a support ticket and you guys responded. And the support has been amazing, because it hasn't been just one time that you guys got on a Zoom with me. The other night was over an hour, right? And the information I get from you two, it's amazing. I've learned so much, and it's made the whole process just easy.
So thank you for that. And if I recall right, a previous conversation we had, you were going through the training, which, the step-by-step process. We don't want to spend any more of your time or our time going through fluff and all the extra crap that doesn't matter. We want you to get to push this button, click this, change that setting. That's all we want you to do, and we want it to work for you. But the point I'm getting to now is, in that training, you said something about the clarity, because Stephen is very concise when he shows you things and teaches you things. He's not hiding half of it to come around the corner and sell you the other half. He's giving you
Exactly.
the whole thing in a 20 to 40-second verbiage of content.
Mhm.
So I think that you had something about citations were never clear to you.
Correct, yeah. I knew the importance of the citations, and I knew that it was good for ranking, but of all the other training I've ever gone across, I've never actually learned how to do it. And
Okay.
in that one video that I watched that Stephen made of citations, it was all of a sudden like, and of course, I'm a newbie. I consider myself a newbie, so I've never gone through that process. But that's the importance of the hows and the whys that you guys explained so well. It's how you do it, but the importance of why you do it. And it connects it, and that information for me, somebody that knew it, building this, installing it, and making it my own, it's so important, the value that you guys give.
Well, thank you for that. And
Yeah.
It's not about value. It's about I wanted people to understand it's a process. It's not anything online that you purchase that you get involved in. You have to have a passion to do it and build it and go forward with it. But you have to fail forward, and you have to be willing to take that. Well, I really don't get it, but I'll follow the training, or I'm stuck. What do I do now? Right. So those are the things that happen day in, day out. And people can't get an answer. They can't get a response. They can't get the answer to their question. It doesn't have to be part of the build. It doesn't have to be part of the settings. It has to be a clarity in their own mind that they can do things. Because, it's been said many, many times, the things that stop most people is not the ability to do it. It's here. It's in between, the temples. They get the feeling they just can't do it, so they don't do it. They won't even take the forward step to do it. And that's what I want people to understand. You can do anything that's complex. It takes small steps to get there. And that's what we do in our training over and over and over again. Sometimes it's for some people, watching grass grow, because they already understand a lot of it. But for others, they need it. So we never want to leave that out. And I was reignited this week in my own thought pattern of what we do is important, because some of the things you said on your call. Why did we get on the call with you? Because sometimes typing out an answer doesn't answer the question, and showing you how to do it and what buttons to push to make a setting change is a learning experience. Some of us learn by reading a book, some of us learn by doing, and a combination of both. And we always leave that open to say that it doesn't mean that we're going to be on a Zoom call with every person that ever asks a question. It means that we're either going to be on a Zoom call where we feel necessary, or we're going to start recording more videos that other people that are going to have that same question in the future can go to that video and see that answer in smaller steps. But I appreciate you, Lori. I really am so proud of what you've done in the short time that you've been, just banging away at this. And I know big things are coming for you, because you're taking those steps, and you're seeing, by using a blueprint and asking the right questions, how quickly you can get sites built going forward with your agency site. And once that starts taking hold and you start getting calls for those sites, it's going to be time to hire people. That's what I see for you. It's the only thing that's going to stop you is if you quit.
Right. Yes. And I'll say one other thing, that you just mentioning that people, they don't think that they can do it. And a lot of times for me, that would be like the fear, right? The fear of asking maybe a question that seems so basic that they'll not ask it. But the freeing thing for me with the support you guys give is learning that process and being able to ask that question, no matter how basic it is, just simply ask it and you get the answer and it takes you to that next step.
Laurie, the only stupid question in the world, right, is the one that hasn't been asked. It's I've spoken to people many a time who have gone, I've raised a support ticket, gone, I need some help. I've jumped on a call, right, and I fixed it in 5 minutes. And they said, I spent days on that. Well, why didn't you raise a support ticket 3 days ago?
Yeah.
Right, and we would have shown you. It's Bob in the group had an issue with something on which was non-related to DFY Magic themes. He raised a support ticket, and I had a quick look and went, I know what that is. Fixed it for him and replied back. And whilst we try not to take on other plugins that aren't ours, if it doesn't take too long, then me or the team, Robert will look at it. And I see big things for you ahead. I know bridge season's coming back in. You got to paint that bridge behind you again, haven't you? So
right, I know, yeah.
But no, we think it's brilliant what you're doing, and seeing what you've done with personalizing that site to your needs is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
Learning a lot.
It's not just learning, it's moving forward, because we know what's coming, and what's coming, that the BRR, the build, rent, rank, we're changing the game on that, because we want that to be in place, that Lori already has somebody in place ready to fund her for leads or sales on a new site, which that's what this is all about. We want to get you there as fast as possible. That's why we're going to build and we're going to rent. So we're going to have somebody in place to either buy or compensate you for your work. Because I'm careful in what I say and how I say it, because we never want to run anybody's business. And that's your business, Lori, on how you set that up. But we want to be there for you in any way that we can help you to expedite and make sure that your site is secure, your leads are secure, so that you get paid for your work, for your effort, rather than give the leads to the end user, which benefits the most, that makes the sale on the product. So, but yeah, that's what's fantastic, and that's what is exciting for Stephen and I to see growth. And you're not the first to do what you did, but you're just a reminder to us of that these things can be done. And it doesn't have to take months and years to get there. I'm going to say 2 months, three months you've been at this. I don't remember exactly when you started. With the thought of building an agency site and then a second site. And you already have both up and still plugging away at them.
Yeah.
So it goes by fast, but at the same time, none of this is a push a button and you have money coming out of your monitor. That's
certainly not. Yeah.
Not what any of these are.
That's called a cash point machine. You have to put money in the first place.
Yeah.
That's what most of us have done.
Right.
But anyways, thank you, Lori, and
thank you, Lori.
Yeah. Keep going, keep plugging. It's all coming. It's all coming.
Yeah.
Awesome. And you're gonna love the next bit, Lori. So let's pop you up there, and let's make sure we're all in place. All right, I'm now going to share my screen. Get to my screen. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to talk about keyword research. And thing with keyword research, and I'm not here to teach anyone to suck eggs, because those that know it, those that don't, right? But a lot of people overthink keyword research, in my opinion. And so this is what I do with my sites in general. I'm going to show this bit, then we're going to go to the inner circle only to show you how I implement it onto a site. So this is what I've done while Robert was chatting away to Lori, was I typed in web designers in Crewkern, where I live, right? And my tags that I use on my site are things like this. that are already on Google, this gives you a great clue what to use. This is highlighted here, web design crewkern, all the way down, web design and development near crewkern. So these are the sort of things. I probably wouldn't put the 10 best web design agencies unless I've got a separate domain name that is like a blog site, and you can do a blog article and you say the best services are, and of course yours is number one, because that's the best way of doing it. And as you wander down, you can get some great headlines as well in here. So if I wanted to put on one of my pages on the SEO side, and we'll show, like I said, we'll show in a little while how to do that, this would be a great little thing to pop in as well. So I'd come over to Word document, a Google document, I'd save it in there. So I know that's something that I might use. And we can work our way through and see, we've got web design, crewkern, website designers. I'm not worried about the company name on the end, and we'll pop that in here as well. And so you get the idea, you can build up a list fairly quickly. There are tools like Google keyword research that you can use, but I like to keep it simple. I like to know what's working. Something else you can do as well, if we come over to videos, let's see if anyone's got a video up in my local area. So web design agency Somerset. So I'd want to nick that headline as well. We'll pop that on here. The videos are a great source, and I highly recommend, if you've got the chance to create some videos, you can actually beat people. And what I mean by that is you can say, like here, with a list called web design here, right? So I could put that in there myself as a keyword, and then put a pipe in line, and then change something in here, but something extra, add something extra onto the end of the title. And these are, once again, headlines you can use on pages on your website. Let's come back across. So we have all the keyword research we'd ever need on YouTube and Google itself. We can have a look at here and just look at some of the words: secure, affordable. That's self-storage, funny enough, so why that's come up underneath. Someone's got something on their site that's actually thinking that's to do with web design. Maybe there's a link back to a site on there. Website agency. So you get the idea of taking some content off of these videos as well. And I like to build a list up, so I've got some great keywords in place, but you also want to go for low-hanging fruit. And what I mean by that is, as an example, let's just have a look for websites for sale. See if anything's for sale at the moment. So let's jump back onto my right page. So as you can see here is we've got here websites for sale, and no one's actually put anything in here. So think about this. If you created yourself a video with a title, websites for sale crewkern, right, most likely at some point someone's going to come across that video with that title in there as well. We can do, let's have a look. About.
Steve, let me say something while you're right there.
Yeah.
That keyword that Steve is working on is almost considered a long tail keyword. And if you can write long tail keywords even longer, you'll rank immediately for. And as your videos or your pages get more authority, the shorter keywords, you're almost adding long tail keywords with shorter keywords inside of the long tail keyword. So if you had the very best web designer in crewkern as your long tail keyword, you would have very best web design. You would have best web design as shorter keywords in the same long tail keyword. And you'll start ranking for the shorter tail keywords as the authority it grows on your page or your video. Does that make sense?
Yep. So I just typed in best web design in the crewkern, and I'll add area on the end. So of course, if someone typed into Google best web design in the crewkern area, right, this is going to come up. And so we are a web design agency in Somerset, helping companies in South Somerset to pass their goals and build sustainable. Now, one thing I don't like people doing that annoys me a little bit, but I think it's a good thing to do, is make this slightly longer than you need it, because now I want to know what that says. Especially if you're doing what's called a hook. So, you know, for an example, I could put on here, best web design agency in Somerset, and then in the description part on my website and also on a video, I could put something like find out the #1 reason why people have decided to stop having websites made. Now that would make you want to click on it, and so you then go, okay, so you click on it, it takes you to a page, and it goes, the #1 reason that people have stopped wanting websites made is because they cost too much to make. An average website costs between $8,000 to $50,000. But instead of actually having a website made, why don't you rent one for as low as $97 a month? You know, something else as well, right? And I'm just going to come back to web designing in Crewker in a minute, just to cut this back a bit. See what comes up. So still the same one at the top. I want to ask you a question. That thumbnail that's there, if I put a bright red thumbnail up with a picture of a person pointing, would you click on that compared to that black screen, that's little black icon that's there now? And you'll notice when we do the live for yous and we post in the group, we're going to be live for you, I've started using bright, fun icons. It grabs your attention. And the thing is, nothing about that is when I forget to put at everyone in the inner circle group, just to remind you, it means to me that you're going to see that inside the group anyway and go, oh yeah, I've got that coming up. And we do regular reminders on automation to remind you guys throughout the week what's coming up. And we're going to be doing more and more content, lots of exciting things coming up, especially on the Build, Rent, Rank course. If you haven't got it, go into Facebook to our inner circle, go and grab it, because also by the inner circle members grabbing it, I'm able to then message you guys to remind you by email that the live views are coming up. All right, we're not going to bombard you with emails. You guys know me. I don't send out emails, you know, here, there, and everywhere every week going, come on, I'll tell you, we went on, myself and Robert, I won't name the product, but we went on to, it was something like, join our live training on this product. All right, and we went on there thinking, great, we're going to learn all about the product we've gone and bought to have a look at. And it was another pitch to buy another product. Now, if I said to you, turn up on Friday night and I'm going to tell you about keywords, and then straight away I started trying to sell a new rank math, you know, I just think it's wrong. If I want to sell you something, I will send you out an email telling you about the product. If it's for your business, you buy it. If it's not, don't buy it. Simple as. Yes, we will get an affiliate commission for recommending something, but as I've said before, I will only recommend things that I believe in. But coming back to this, as we wander down, that you might get someone click on that maybe, but if I had a nice bright image here that stands out, I think I would have the market. And so that's my homework in the week to try and get done, is do a video and get it up in here, and also put a link somewhere on a page or embed it on a back page on one of my sites, so that way then it's all working fine. So what we're going to do now, and the reason I've stopped sharing, is I need to make sure I'm on the right screen to disconnect people when it's time. Is there anything you want to update further, Robert, while I just find the right screen? Are you muted, Robert? Because you're very quiet.
Sorry about that. I've been coughing, so I didn't want to
No, that's all right.
disrupt everybody. This is our Friday call, and every Friday we do our Q&As. We don't hide. We come out and answer questions. We look at sport tickets during the week, and then a lot of times we'll create our next Friday call based on questions that were asked in sport tickets. Because if one person has a question, there's a good chance that 2-3 more might have the same question.
Yeah. So on that note, we're going to say goodnight to all the free groups. And if you have any questions or you want to ask something, you can actually head over to dfymagicthemes.com/support. If you want to come and join the inner circle and find out what we're all having a little chat about on the private group, then you can head to dfymagicthemes.com/live for you. But on that note, we're going to say goodbye to all the free groups, and we'll see you next week. We're sticking in the inner circle.
Thank you for watching.